everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. It's nice to see you. I hope you're keeping well. This is the preview of West Ham's 7th away game of the 23-24 Premier League season, where we're going to travel to Lancashire to take on Premier League returning team Burnley at Turf Moor this 3 o'clock kickoff this coming Saturday afternoon. So as a result, guys, it's not on any UK TV channel. As always, guys, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase some very nice retro gear, guys, as you can see from the icon that's up here, along with some very nice retro gear of Burnley, if there's any Burnley fans there as well, along with track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts, so go check those out. Any purchases you make through the link in the description below, the commission that the channel would normally be getting, as I always say, I'll be sending on to the charity Iron Supporting Food Banks. They're based in the Newham area, and they're helping those in the Newham area and the Essex County and further afield for that matter, to help put food on the tables for those who have been struggling over the last 4 to 5 years. So guys, go grab yourself a very nice retro shirt. You'll be saving yourself a few quid in comparison to your respective club shop, or go grab yourself a very nice polo and track jacket, because at the end of the day, guys, it's the club colours of both teams. So it's a win-win from that point of view, and you'll be helping those the less fortunate than you and I. Now, guys, as always, there's going to be timestamps in the description, so barmies, please try and stick with us for as long as you can. If you haven't got 10 minutes or so spare, then you can jump around to any point that you want. But as always, guys, let's start off by talking about the officials. The referee for this game is Steve Barrett. Or Barrot, I think you pronounce that. I have no idea because I've never heard of him before, and I'll be very surprised if most of you guys have either. His assistants are Mark Perry and Steve Meredith. The fourth official is Matt Donoghue. On VAR, we have Craig Pawson, and his assistant is Konstantin Hatzidakis. So a little bit of a mixed bag there in terms of the officials. I'm not 100% certain what's going to happen, but we will be trying. Hopefully, as long as my PTV service works, we'll be doing the watch-alongs for the game. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe, so you get to know when we're going to be going live, which should be about 2:45 on Saturday afternoon. Now, as we remember, Burnley got relegated in the 21-22 season, but last season they absolutely smashed the Championship, winning the league by 101 points, 10 points more than Sheffield United, who we relatively comfortably beat the other week. But unfortunately, Burnley haven't had such as decent success as Sheffield United, as they are bottom of the Premier League at the time of this recording after 12 games, winning 1, drawing 1, losing 10, scoring 9 and conceding 30 goals, with a minus 21 goal difference on 4 points. There's a fly in here somehow. How the hell that happened? Now, Burnley's Premier League home form so far shows they've picked up absolutely bugger all, not a sausage. 0 points from the 6 games so far, scoring 4 and conceding 18 goals. And up rocks West Ham. Guys, you know as well as I do that we can be quite an easy team to play against when you haven't won at home for X amount of games, or a certain player hasn't scored for X amount of games. I really genuinely hope that is now behind us with the form that we've been doing over the last 2 to 3 years. Granted, last season wasn't brilliant, but in terms of the Premier League, of course, but we've got it in there. We've got it in our locker to go and absolutely smash them, or we've got it in our locker to go out there and be absolutely dire. So, guys, as always, put your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking on this. Now, in terms of their style of play, Vincent Kompany, who's 37 years old, he's 5 years younger than me. That's scary. His go-to formation is a very, very safe 4-2-3-1, like Moyes likes to do, but sometimes he mixes it up. He does a 4-4-2, does a 4-3-3. It's difficult to... It looks like, to a degree, he actually changes the formations in terms of who he's playing against. Now, their actual style of play themselves is they attack down the right and play with width, taking long shots and playing in their own half. Now, from the research I've been able to do from Burnley, because I've not been able to watch any of the games myself, but they don't appear to have any strengths even, and they are weak at avoiding the offside trap, finishing scoring chances, defending set pieces, defending against wing attacks, and against long shots and through ball attacks as well. And they are weak at avoiding individual errors and protecting the lead, and they are very weak at defending against skillful players. Now, for the likes of Paquetá and potentially Kudus, and maybe a skillful centre forward, shall we say, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I think we can, from what I've read, of course, you know, the stats only prove half of the story, as we've always said. But I do kind of think, given their home form at the moment, I do think we can go out and get something. I'll be very, very happy with the full 3 points, of course. But if the usual West Ham rocks up and we don't do a very good performance, I can see why more people are going to be panicking than they already are. I'm not at the moment, but the warning signs are there nonetheless. Now, turning to injuries, Burnley's centre forward Foster is out with what appears to be an illness. It looks like he could be back at some point this week as of the time of this recording. Centre forward Obafemi seems to be out with a hamstring issue. Right winger Nathan Redmond is out with a hamstring issue as well. Centre back Ekdal has a knee injury, all with unknown returns at this point. Centre back Al Dakhil is a 50-50% chance of returning from a knock, so he's probably going to be in the squad at some point because of the way that West Ham works. Now, players to look out for: the goalkeeper Trafford. He likes to launch the ball further than 40 yards. What we all know is long ball, even though that's really hoofball. He does do that once every 4 times, so 25% of the time. He doesn't come out the penalty box often. He's normally in around about the 17.5-yard box, and if he is coming out of the box, he comes out a couple of 2-3 yards. Now, his average goal kicks per game is 6.5. Centre forward Rodriguez has 1.76 shots per game, 73% pass completion rate, 1.6 clearances per game, 1.9 aerial duels won on average per game. Defender O'Shea has an average of 4.8 clearances per game, 3.33 recurring aerial duels won per game, 1.87 blocks and interceptions on average per game, and an 83.25% chance of pass completion rate, and 68.5 passes attempted. The German defender Bayer has got an average of 4.91 clearances per game, 2.9 tackles per game, 67.3 passes attempted per game, and a 90.3% pass completion rate. It doesn't stop there. Attacking midfielder strokes forward Amdouni, I think you pronounce that, has 21.4 passes attempted and 80.7% pass completion rate per game, 2.8 progressive carries per game, aka just running at the opposition, and 3.5 touches per game, which is not great for an attacking midfielder, to be fair. That's less than Souček. Didn't think that was possible. But guys, let's now turn to West Ham. So we've gone through what the situation is with Burnley. Now, looking at West Ham, as we know, at the time of this recording, probably by the time most of you guys see this, is probably going to be a better update than what's I'm going to say at the time of this recording. Antonio and Bowen, as we know, are being assessed for their respective knee injuries. It was reported earlier that Antonio actually had a hamstring injury. That was but by all accounts, it looks like that was a bit of an easy go-to by whatever journalist broke the story at the time. Bowen seems to have water on the knee from what I was reading. So we'll have to wait and see what's happened. Obviously, as I say, you guys will probably know a bit more information by now, by the time you get to see this. It looks like Antonio's definitely going to be out for this game. Bowen's looking 50-50. Kudus seems to be waiting to be assessed, because I know there was some talk about him having a bit of a knee problem as well, for that matter. But he does seem to be okay from what I'm seeing so far. He did actually have 45 minutes the other night coming off the bench in the second half, replacing former Hammer for Ghana Andre Ayew. So, yeah, it could be okay. Now, of course, guys, this means that we're going to now be turning around to the starting 11. Now, of course, within the squad, there are 2 former Burnley players in there, Danny Ings and Maxwell Cornet. Will either of them start? Will either of them be on the bench? Will both of them be on the bench? Let me know what you would do if you were David Moyes. But this is the starting 11 that I would put out with the information we've got so far to work on. This is the starting 11 that I would put out if I was David Moyes in charge of West Ham United. Areola in goal, with a back 4 of Soufal, Zuma, Mavropanos and Emerson. Alvarez behind James Ward-Prowse in the defensive midfield positions, with Kudus, Paquetá and Cornet in the midfield, supporting Mubama up front. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much for making this far. If you have, most people aren't watching more than 2.5 minutes worth. But if you've made it all this way right from the start, I love you. Please do like, share and subscribe. We're 2,415 subscribers. I haven't made any much content over the international break because there's not really been that much to talk about, bar the video I did over the weekend. Or just before the weekend, I should say, because I knew this was coming. We all knew this was coming. But, yeah, guys, yeah, well, as I say, I've got a little trepidation on this game, to be honest with you, for what we've talked about earlier in this video. But, guys, thank you very, very much for your time. Put your comments in the comment section below. If you're brave enough, please do give me your score predictions as well. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, the end of your week, I should say, and the start of your weekend as well, for that matter. And I hope to see you at quarter to three even, I should say, quarter to three for a Saturday kickoff when we do the watch along for this game. All the best now. Take care.